Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So, now that the 2v2 gunfight game mode has been revealed, and it's the first taste of gameplay that we've gotten from Modern Warfare, I figured I might as well talk about my impressions about it, or my thoughts on it so far, since I haven't gotten my hands on the game itself, and I will do everything in my mental power to resist playing the beta. Because I don't want to give these guys the full support, and I mean these guys by, not by Infinity Ward, but by Activision. I don't want to give them the support of my pre-order until the very last minute. That is whether I get the game digitally or not. I'm probably going to get a hard copy because I love going to the events, or to the midnight releases or whatnot at GameStop. I just like it. Call me a geek, but I figured I'd talk about my impressions of the game and with the things I saw and what I think. And also about what some other people have been talking about. Like, for instance, White Boy 7th Street basically made a video, a very recent video of him talking about how basically, if you've been playing he basically mentioned something like this in the video to where he said, if you've been playing the game for long enough, if you've been a Call of Duty fanboy long enough, and you understand how Call of Duty works, and you've been playing it for a good amount of time, especially over the last 5+ years, you will be able to tell just by looking at gameplay. You can read between the lines and you can tell, what's going to be in the final game and what's not for the most part. And you can judge a lot by just one game mode of the game. Seriously. Because if you look at it, when you look at the very basics of Call of Duty, how much does game mode to game mode really differ when it comes to, the meat and potatoes of the game itself? And the answer to that is not very much. So the thing is, yeah, I agree with what he's saying in that aspect. And I also agree with what some of the fans have been saying at the same time. It's like you can't also fully judge a game just by judging one game mode, especially since that game mode is something we never really had before, at least not that kind of flavor. We've had 2v2s, 3v3s from Modern Warfare 3, but we haven't had this in Modern Warfare. I mean, we haven't had this. Some people are saying the game looks like shit. The stream wasn't at the highest quality, so that may play a role. And at the same time, when it comes to multiplayer, guys, in my opinion, what matters most is how the game plays. In my opinion, if the game could look worse than Black Ops 4 for all I care. As long as it plays good, as long as the hit detection is good, as long as everything plays nice and smooth, the lobbies are good, all the things that really matter, that comes first. And then the graphics can come secondary. I personally think that the campaign may look better than the multiplayer. I mean, I don't know. None of us know at this point. But we'll see. I mean, and another thing, speaking of looks, Call of Duty should always play like Call of Duty first and foremost. I don't mind them adding in a flavor of something new. Sure, whatever keeps the game fresh, right? Whatever keeps the replay value high, right? Whatever keeps us engaged and interested in the subtle differences that they make into the game. But with that being said, you can't inject something so new that it becomes such a big part of the formula. In Black Ops 4, that's one of the main problems. The specialists were a little bit too much since we both had abilities and super weapons, or whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't remember at this point, but anyway, you know what I mean? So in Black Ops 3, they were balanced. In this game, they were balanced, but they started heading towards that direction to where they started to give you more. But for the most part, they were balanced, especially if you go and play this game now compared to Black Ops 4. This game is a lot quieter than Black Ops 4. It's mainly about your guns, right? So with Modern Warfare, I mean, obviously with Black Ops 4, they overdid it, but with Modern Warfare, hopefully it doesn't play too much like a lot of people are saying, like too much like Rainbow Six Siege or too much like Battlefield, because Call of Duty is Call of Duty. And like I said, when it comes to looks, the game can look realistic, but it shouldn't play realistic. It's not a war simulator. It's not a simulator. It's an arcade first-person shooter, and it has its own unique feel to it. So, and if they are to go too realistic, that means they would have to take quick scoping out, because quick scoping just, in terms of realism, I mean, quick scoping just doesn't exist in real life. I mean, there's no way somebody's going to pick up, no matter how strong they are, unless they're Clark fucking Kent, they're not going to be able to basically pick up a 50 caliber sniper and draw that at somebody quicker than somebody holding a pistol. It just doesn't happen, okay? So, so that means they have to remove quick scoping, and I personally think that the no mini map, I think that's only going to be in hardcore and in the 2v2 gunfight mode, or unless they have a 3v3 for that as well. I don't know. But if they say that traditional multiplayer is definitely going to exist within the game, like it always has, then I guess we can expect a minimap in regular core. At least I hope so. And hopefully the maps aren't designed to be too realistic to where you know, people are going to be blending in with the background so well, especially if they're wearing a ghillie suit, to where, you're not going to be able to run all over the place because you're going to have to slowly crouch and aim down your sights because you don't know where the hell they're going to be because their camo is so good and because it's so realistic you can't spot them. So hopefully there's not that. I mean, some people are saying it kind of looks like Ghosts in a sense, and I could definitely get that vibe. I definitely understand that. And I've mentioned in previous videos multiple times that Ghosts, if they did a few things, like a handful of things differently, it could have been even better than Black Ops 2. And I have no shame in saying that if they did that right, but they didn't. If the maps were smaller, if the maps in Ghosts were a little bit smaller, if the spawns were a little bit better, if the kill streaks were better, and if they had more, if the time to kill was just a little bit longer, and if they had a little bit more support towards esports, which I personally don't care about, but the community does. But if they did those things, that Ghosts could have rivaled Black Ops 2, and I kid you not. So yeah, because Infinity Ward, whatever they do, whenever they do decide to do something innovative, they usually do pretty well. And in this game here, in Infinite Warfare, they actually showed that if they were to take an idea from another Call of Duty, like in this one, they took a lot of ideas from Black Ops 3 with the movement system and how the maps are designed and all that kind of stuff, that they can actually do it pretty damn well. So the thing is, I don't mind if they give a new flavor to a game, just as long as it doesn't overtake the game and doesn't take too much away from the base of what Call of Duty is. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, believe it or not, is that quick scoping has to be a thing. Quick scoping has to remain to be a thing as long as it's not too fucking overpowered to where even a noob that doesn't play with their thumbs can do it. I mean, you have to have a certain level of skill if you want to quick scope consistently. So as long as it's reasonably balanced and as long as it's not too bullshitty, then hey, I'm all for it. Whatever. I mean, I may not like it, but I do understand that it's part of the formula now. It's part of Call of Duty tradition. So let's keep it in. I don't mind it as long as it's not too crazy. So hopefully we'll get as many maps as we do weapons, because rumor has it we're going to get a shit ton of weapons. Well, at least the amount of weapons that we're supposed to have, like 8 or 9 assault rifles, 3 or 4 marksman rifles, maybe 5, 4 snipers, 4 shotguns, give or take, maybe a little bit more, 7 or 8 SMGs. That's how much the leaks say that we're going to get. Hopefully some of those weapons won't be DLC. Hopefully they'll just add brand new weapons to DLC in addition to those that I just mentioned. So MP7 is making a return, so that's really great. But yeah, there's lots to look forward to, and especially with a lot of attachments, weapons and attachments, especially if you have plenty to play with, give a lot of replay value to the game, especially if everything else fits very, very well. So, and like I mentioned in previous videos, Call of Duty is like pizza. The concept of it is very easy, but if you mess one thing up about it, it can mess the entire thing up. So hopefully they don't add something that's so out of bounds that they don't mess the whole thing up. I really don't want them to. At least not to that extent. And for whatever they do add, hopefully it'll be good and it'll fit in very well. And that's the trick. That's the trick, and that's the riddle that they have to solve every single time they make one, because that's their curse at this point. I mean, a new Call of Duty comes out every single year, and it's really hard to be fresh after you release something that's nearly identical for every single year, especially when you're trying to come up with ideas on how to change it. But the thing is, a lot of fans are still like, we're demanding change, but they keep on getting wrong in terms of the change in terms of the change that they provide. So, some people really hated the jetpacks, especially the Advanced Warfare iteration. By the time this game came out here, people were ready to go back to boots on the ground, which is one of the big reasons why I think this was hated so much, this game here. So whatever change they decide to do, I mean, they just got to keep a whole bunch of the formula intact. And even though the game looks the way it looks at this point, and even though it seems to play a certain way at this point, I do see a good amount that is still Call of Duty. And until the full reveal happens, we won't be able to judge more. I mean, this is just one gameplay with very specific kind of maps. So we'll see what the rest has. At this point, if you've been a Call of Duty fan for so many years now to where you can notice a lot of things about the game before the game even comes out. I mean, I doubted myself over the last couple years, but for the last couple years, I was right, and I just didn't listen to myself. So this year, I'm definitely going to listen to myself when the reveal happens. And if there's something I don't like, I'm going to go with my opinion, as opposed to trying to basically say, oh, we'll see what when the game comes out. Let's not judge now. But for the last few years, I've been right. So I'm going to stick with my gut this time. So hopefully everybody else decides to do the same. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of the 2v2 gunfight mode, about all the leaks that have been going on in terms of the amount of weapons we're going to get, and what you guys think in terms of the maps or anything else. I haven't looked up anything else now that I just got home from work and it's late at night, but I wanted to make this video first. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. As always, you guys can contact me on Twitter as well. I'm really curious to see what you guys think in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, guys, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.